Welcome back. We're celebrating Mother's Day the only way we know how here at the Thrift Store Rundown by bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Out of the 5 reviews I'm doing today, I'd say this one, the 4th one, is going to hammer home the Mother's Day theme the most. Here's the 4th context in our theme: not all moms are created equal. Not all moms are going to have identical war stories about how they brought their precious little blessings into the world, and how it most certainly wasn't their first rodeo. Take, for instance, in the context of TV, the Duggars on TLC, who we should probably never speak of again, and their network siblings, the Goslins, the family that I vibe with the most. And why? You probably know this by now, but when I was very young, I watched and thoroughly enjoyed Jon and Kate +8. So much so that I actually own 5 volumes of the series of DVD. That would be the first 3 seasons on their own, and season 4 split into 2 volumes, split in half. I also own Kate Gosselin's books. The first one before you, Multiple Blessings from Zondervan, co-authored by former husband Jon and former BFF Beth Carson. Surviving the Thriving with Twins and Sextuplets. I also own her follow-up, I Just Want You to Know, and her cookbook, Love is in the Mix. Today, we're doing a redo of the New York Times bestseller because we have the companion audiobook, which I purchased for $2.99. It's a 4-disc companion audiobook, read slightly unabridged by Kate Gosselin herself. Also a Zondervan publication. But before we get to the audiobook, let's quickly rehash Multiple Blessings. Now, I've done a review of this much earlier back here on TSR, but let's do a quick summary. And if you follow Jon and Kate's story from TLC up until now, you probably get the genesis of this book, which is the genesis of their life. After Jon and Kate met and married in the late 90s, they discovered that they were unable to get pregnant on their own, so they turned to fertility treatments, which, as you know, produces multiples. Or in this case, multiples. Make that 2 kids for every multiples I just said. First came twins, Maddie and Kara, and then the sextuplets. If I could get them in birth order, they would be Alexis, Hannah, Aiden, Colin, Leah, and Joel. This book, which retails for $19.99 in the US and $21.50 in Canada, goes into detail on their early years as a married couple, the difficult pregnancy, the Christmas miracle that assured them that 8 was definitely going to be more than enough, the delivery of all the babies, which was a spectacle to say the least, the first full rough years of surviving with twins and sextuplets, and how they got by with a lot of help from their neighbors in Wyoming, Pennsylvania, and how their story, which captivated America, became one of TLC's biggest success stories. We also have personal journal entries from Kate, and of course, a photo diary of the twins and sextuplets, and the happy family as they once were. And that brings us to the audiobook. What I just said in here, with some slight facts and figures and sentences slightly redacted, is encapsulated in this 4-disc set, which runs approximately 5 hours and retails for $24.99. 8 children in 3 years? Impossible. Yet, Jon and Kate Gosselin have learned that through God, both of them being Christians, all things are possible, though sometimes slightly improbable. Just 3 years after giving birth to twin daughters, Maddie and Kara, Kate and Jon learned they were pregnant again with sextuplets. In Multiple Blessings, Kate candidly chronicles the emotional and exhausting challenges she and Jon faced from the time the babies were conceived through the first 2 years of their lives. Read by Kate herself, this amazing story of faith provides a heartening lesson in what it means to trust the faithful hand of God to provide the strength and courage to make it through life's seemingly impossible situations. Again, this is a 4-disc set, and as it stands, I'm on disc 1, page 56 if you want to read along with the hardcover or paperback book that I have here. You're only seeing 3. Now, when I first peeked inside this, I thought, only 3 or 4? Yeah, this thing's going back. But thankfully, I looked even deeper and I found the other disc. So, all 4 discs in here. I tested out disc 1, which stopped at page 56. And as we go to page 56 now, That would be The Hard Work of West. Right here. It's a real cool experience to be able to listen to the audiobook and read along to the hardcover or paperback copy, and that's really for any book that you buy, any combination of the two. The Season 4 episode, It's a Book, goes into detail on the process of writing this book and how Kate wanted to pinpoint certain fond memories with her family clearly by jotting them all down on paper. That was a good decision. 4.5 out of 5 claps for multiple blessings. That rating applies to both of these items because this is not that unabridged. If it was unabridged, then it would be narrated letter by letter and word by word. Some facts and figures and sentences, as I said earlier, are slightly redacted from this 4-disc audiobook. As for the hardcover book and for the paperback, even though I only own the hardcover, I want a full color photo insert and acknowledgement of the fans. That's not the case here, on each count. However, the epiphany she had about the fans and their support for them and the show in the follow-up I just want you to know makes me forgive those flaws. It might be a crazy life, but it truly is their life. And sadly, I think you would agree with me that I want no part of it anymore. When we last checked up on the Gosselins, Jon and Kate were in the process of seeking a new family court judge to handle child custody proceedings. As you know, Hannah and Colin reside with Colin, and everybody else with Kate, now in North Carolina. So you Tar Heels, best be warned. No, I'm just kidding. Well, mostly for the kids, but not really for Kate. She's a character. Yes, I don't want any more to do with the Gosselins. Besides, there's a certain amount of fun and a certain amount of peace to be found in looking back at and now listening to the past, and knowing that 8 is enough. Thanks for watching TSR. Now to see another awesome review like this one, click here. If you want to become a Hollywood bargain hunter, click here to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the thrift side.